Today, I'm going to show everybody how to tint probably the most common vehicle. It's just a regular Chevy truck. This is in particular is a 2000 Chevy Silverado half-ton. I actually decided to try the store brand window film. This is the Gila 20%. We're going to see how it works on the Chevy. So here's a step-by-step to help everybody out. I'm going to go on the outside and just clean out the outside. Just wipe it down. I'll just take a squeegee to it just to get any kind of dirt. I gotta clean this one especially well because this truck literally came off the farm and I brought it back to the city. So I gotta clean it very well. So after you clean it down, spray it down. I already got my film out. When using this, make sure the plastic is on the outside. And the way I do it, and I've always done it, is I just take my clear film. You want that clear film to be on the outside when you're doing your cuts. So I'll take this piece, lay it up. The bottom edge, just line that on the outside. That's the factory edge. Okay, you want to overlap your ends. Just enough to give you a little bit of room to work. Bottom straight. I always spray down the outside just to be able to run your fingers over it smoothly. Okay, and I also, after I get my enough edge, I always cut the excess off just so it's not flapping around. Now, before you tack it down, the first thing you do is make sure you have enough tint on your front edge. And you're going to go ahead and make that cut before you tack down and secure the film. So I'll go ahead and make this cut with enough film there. Your knife, I use a little X-Acto knife and I just put one, just the tip sticking out. It's a lot easier so you don't cut too much. I run my finger along the edge, you can see that. I find where my point is, just stick it and run it down the side. And get that's going to be your front edge. When you're tearing it, just tear away from it. It'll just tear very easily. Okay, now, after you make your cut, you have not stuck the film yet, you're going to pick it up, and I always just move it like a 1/4 of an inch towards the front of the truck. Stick the film. So now that you have a little bit of gap there, I moved it about 1/8 to a 1/4 of an inch forward. Now what I call stick it. I just spray it down and stick it. This doesn't allow the film to move while you're making the rest of your cuts. Okay, now that it's secure, I'm going to make my cut here on the back edge. And again, tear away from it. Also going to remove this excess, just so it doesn't stick to anything when we roll the window down and get our top edge. Okay, now I've stuck the film. It's going to stay secure. Now we're going to cut our top edge, and how you do it, pull the film away from the bottom. Okay, and this is a manual window, so I'm just going to roll it down just enough to where the bottom of the window is here so I can get my edge. You can go ahead and close the door again. Just make sure the film is out of the way. Again, I like to keep the outside a little bit wet just so everything glides. So, you've got your rear edge, your front edge. Now we're going to cut our window. Okay, and how I like to do it, I pull the blade a little bit further out, kind of take an angle to it, stick the film, and just run it along, try not to stop. You want one continuous cut. Okay? And how I do it, take it, and again, tear out. Same here. Just tear out. So now you have your top edge. Now all that's left is to come back. This Chevy truck actually has a curve here, so what I'll actually try to do, I'm actually going to try to cut this a little bit more, just so I don't have too much to do there. Now, you can pull this away, and you can see your edge. Now what I'll do here, since I'm not working in a shop or have a board or glass to cut on, I'll just put it here and just finish out your edges. So I'll just take a straight edge here and just finish it off. Do the same thing coming up. And just make that a nice clean line. I'm going to do the same thing on this back edge. You can see that. You can see the natural curve of the window. I'm just trying to get it close. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. There we go. See how the final comes out. Everything else looks good. Again, since I'm not working with a board here, I'm going to use the side of the truck, and this is where I'll... This is not the cleanest version of window tinting, but cool night, not too windy, dust isn't really flying, so I lay it upside down. Again, this is my bottom edge right here. I lay it upside down. I'll show you why here in a second. I'm going to take the outside window, just wipe it down, just so it'll have a clean look at it. Now, I'm going to come around. First thing I'm going to do on this truck, I'm actually going to roll it down, and there's a ton of dirt around these window edges. So I'm just going to take a paper towel and just wipe this down. It's so dirty. It's wiped down in this corner. That's the easiest place to get dirt when laying your film. Okay? Now, roll it all the way up. Okay? Take my water bottle and a regular razor blade, and I'm going to start at the bottom. Just the bottom, let's just say 3 or 4 inches, I'm going to go ahead and scrape with a razor blade. Be sure and get the corners really good. If there's any stickers, go ahead and pull them off. Okay? Wet it down again. And I just take my squeegee, it's just a rubber squeegee, and just go along the edge and push it to a corner. Okay? There's different techniques, but this is how I do it. I take my water bottle and I'll just spray it down all the way. Just let it, all the dirt kind of go down to the edges. Now I'm going to just pull my window down just enough to get to the top edge. And I'm going to go ahead and scrape it, the whole window now. Just to try to get as much dirt out of here as possible. Again, this truck came literally right off the farm, so my expectations are not real high as far as dirt, but I've already tinted the other 2 windows in this truck, and they actually came out pretty clean. So after you scrape it, kind of just lightly mist it down again. Take your squeegee, just try to push it all to the side. Squeegee, but I'll probably do this again just one more time since it's really dirty. Just try not to leave any streaks in it. Push all the dirt down and to the sides. Okay. Then the last thing I do, I take my squirt bottle and I just push everything down the side. Just spray, spray, spray. Now we're ready for film. The last little thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take just the edge of this paper towel and just run it across the top of the window. Just make sure there's no dirt up there. Okay, so now we're just going to wet it down. I got to be quick here. Again, this is upside down, so what we're going to do, I'm going to take the top corner, I'm going to peel it away with my teeth, the plastic film. So if you can see this, I've separated it. I'm going to lay it back down, generous with the water, start peeling it away. And as soon as you do, start spraying it, because that's going to activate the glue. Okay? Watch how far. You're not going to take the film all the way off. You're going to take it and leave about 3 or 4 inches. Leave it just like that. Spray it down really good. That activates it. Make sure your window's really wet so you can work with the film. And here we go. Try not to touch it hardly at all. I just try to touch the very edges with clean hands. Take it. Get it on there quick so dust can't get in it. start lining up your edges. You've got some time to work with it here. Just try to get it as close to the top. Again, you got some time to work with it here. Make sure your front gets in there. That's why we cut it a little bit long. Okay. When it's up and it's staying by itself, it's in position, I just wet it down. I take my squeegee and I'm just going to what I call tack it. And just that secures it in place. And just double check your edges. Make sure everything's where you want it to be. You can still move it just slightly. And just start working your bubbles out. Just be gentle with it. Just take your time. You got some time here. Just start working all the air and water to the outside. And what you want to do is make sure your top edge. Now my window is totally up. I'm going to take my water bottle and I'm going to spray this bottom 3 or 4 inches. Just work everything to the outside. Just move all the dirt in case there's anything so far. Just let it go down to the outside. Now I'm going to pull the rest of my film off. You still got some time to work with. Make sure you get into the edges and along the bottom. This one came out pretty good. Again, just kind of spray down the inside so your squeegee doesn't stick to the film and rip it, or even take a chance of ripping it. And just start working the bubbles down into the outside. Sometimes you can take your thumb and just put it on the corner to kind of stretch it, kind of save, pull some of the air out of it. These Chevy trucks, I kind of make sure you down this edge is kind of a tight fit here, so just keep working it down. You'll see some of these fingers come up, even possibly for the next 30 minutes or so until some of the water evaporates, but which is fine. You can take even your driver's license or a credit card and you can work them down later if you need to. And again, you can still come back here in a little bit and work some of these down if you need to, if some of them are popping up. You can just keep taking your squeegee or even, like I said, a credit card or your driver's license. Just keep working them down, let the water evaporate. Just keep working it. It's, just double check on the outside, see if you see anything popping up. This one looks to be okay. It's fine, just keep an eye on it for the next 30-45 minutes. That's all there is. You might want to be sure don't roll your windows down for a few days. Let this dry out. If it's hot in summertime, if it's sitting out in the sun for a good solid day, but you'll see a haze, and once that haze goes away, you're good. So, anyways, this is a new option. It saves a ton of money. I got quotes on this truck. People wanted roughly $125 to tint these 3 windows. I picked up this Gila. This is the Gila 20%. Film at AutoZone, $28 out the door. Just saved. One other thing is on what I'm using for my water is actually just all water with probably 2 or 3 drops of Dawn liquid soap. Just put a couple in there, shake it up. You don't want to use any kind of ammonia or vinegars or anything like that. So that's all you need. Hope this helps. Thanks.